My fiancée once told me, if you trust me, you don't need a prenup. But deep down, I trusted my gut instead, and that gut feeling saved me. Hello, Reddit. I'm a 32-year-old man, and recently, I ended my engagement with Dana, who is 28. Since then, some mutual friends have labeled me controlling, paranoid, and even cruel for the way I handled everything. Others say I dodged a bullet. Truth is, I'm still trying to make sense of it all. So I'm here looking for some perspective. Dana and I met about 2.5 years ago at a mutual friend's engagement party. From the moment we locked eyes, it was electric, an instant connection that felt like a whirlwind romance. She was confident, sharp, ambitious, and had a wicked sense of humor. I had dated a bit and had a few long-term relationships before, but Dana was different from day one. She made me feel truly seen, heard, and wanted. We moved in together after 6 months. I know that sounds fast to some, but it felt completely natural for us. Our relationship was smooth, no big fights, and she brought excitement into my life. She supported my work. I run a small real estate investment business that I built from scratch, and she was the first person I seriously considered starting a family with. So, when I proposed last year on her favorite beach, it was a perfect, tear-filled moment. She said yes, and for a while, everything felt just right. But when we began planning the wedding, the conversation shifted to money. I brought up the idea of a prenuptial agreement, not because I doubted her, but because I had worked hard to build what I had. I don't come from wealth. I paid my way through school, built a financial base through rental properties and retirement savings. I'd been burned before in a past relationship where I was left with nearly $9,000 in debt that wasn't mine. I swore never to be that careless again. Dana's reaction was immediate and cold, like a switch flipped inside her. She asked why I didn't trust her. She said prenups were for people expecting their marriage to fail, accused me of thinking she was a gold digger, which I never implied. I tried to explain I was open to fair discussion, not a one-sided deal, just protection for both of us, especially if kids were involved. But she repeated again and again, if you trust me, you don't need a prenup. We argued twice more, each time her stance growing firmer. Finally, she said, if you really trust your gut, then stop preparing for failure and believe in us. That sentence haunted me. I do trust my gut, and it was screaming that something was off. I started noticing little things I'd previously brushed aside. She was always on her phone, but the screen was tilted away from me. She had frequent work happy hours, but never mentioned any coworkers by name. One time, she logged into my laptop to print something, but forgot to log out of her Gmail. I wasn't snooping, I swear. But days later, when I opened my laptop, her Gmail was still signed in. Curiosity, and that nagging feeling, got the better of me. I saw a name pop up in the inbox. Ryan. I clicked, and what I found made my stomach churn. There were dozens of emails between her and this Ryan guy, flirty, sometimes explicit, filled with inside jokes at my expense. They had been involved for months, even before I proposed. The cruelest blow was one message dated 2 weeks after our engagement that read, "Don't worry, I'm not signing anything. I'll get my piece one way or another." I stared at that line over and over. I didn't explode or confront her immediately. I needed time to process, so I backed up the emails and began piecing all together. It turned out Ryan worked in a different department, was married, and his name had never come up in our conversations. When I confronted Dana, she didn't deny anything or shed a tear. Instead, she asked flatly, "So what now?" I handed her the ring and told her it was over. I left the apartment that night to give her space to pack her things. The next morning, I officially called off the wedding. But Dana spun a story to our mutual friends, painting me as manipulative, controlling, and someone who didn't believe in love. Some sided with her, sending messages like, "You let your ego ruin something beautiful," and "Who wants to get married with contract hanging over their head?" One even said, "She cheated. People make mistakes." You threw it all away over a piece of paper. But this wasn't about the prenup. It was about what her reaction revealed. Her refusal to even discuss it was a glaring red flag. Her betrayal confirmed everything. That cruel email about getting her piece one way or another was not a mistake. It was a plan. I trusted my gut, listened when her words didn't match her actions, and saved myself from years of pain. After our breakup, I went back to the apartment the next day. Dana hadn't packed. She was sitting on the couch, half a bottle of wine in hand, scrolling through her phone like nothing was wrong. She wasn't shocked to see me. Instead, she dismissed everything as me being dramatic, said everyone cheats, that no one stays faithful forever. Then she pivoted, claiming I had blindsided her at the prenup talk and pushed her away. She said if I had just let it go, she wouldn't have looked for validation elsewhere. I stayed calm and told her, "You didn't make a mistake. You made a plan, and you tried to gaslight me into thinking I was a problem." I asked her again to leave. She laughed and said, "You're not going to find anyone better than me. You'll regret this." 2 days later, her sister and 2 friends came to get her stuff. She didn't even come back herself. I sent screenshots of the emails with a brief message to Ryan's wife. It wasn't revenge. I just thought she deserved to know who she was married to. She responded the next day, saying she suspected something but had no proof until now, and thanked me. Since then, I blocked Dana on everything. She tried texting me a few cryptic messages, saying things like, "You didn't have to ruin both our lives. Hope you're proud of how cold you are. Still think the prenup mattered now." I didn't respond. Her friends stopped harassing me once those screenshots started making the rounds, though I never shared them. Now, I sit in my quiet apartment, the place feeling truly mine again. I've started therapy, which has helped me sleep, eat, and rebuild, not just my trust in others, but trust in myself. That gut feeling saved me. The awkward prenup conversation turned out to be the best gift in disguise because it peeled back the mask I never would have seen for years. But it still hurts. I wasn't just betrayed, I was played. The engagement, the moving in, the dreams we shared, all tainted now. And it's not even the cheating that cuts deepest. It's that line in the email, "I'll get my piece one way or another." That was the real her. I'm still grieving the woman I thought I knew. So, no, I don't think I was unreasonable. I don't think I'm the bad guy. I just escaped. For anyone reading this who feels that uneasy tug in your gut, listen to it. Ask the tough questions. Don't be afraid to protect yourself and what you've worked hard for. Love and trust shouldn't come with strings or ultimatums. And if someone ever says to you, "If you trust me, you don't need a prenup," what they might really be saying is, "I'm hoping you're too in love to protect yourself."